Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Data Standard Audio Experience. Today we have Dobrica Cosic, the head of data insights at LearnUpon. And today we're speaking about core values within a data team. So, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you today.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be your guest today and to share some stories with the data standard community.
Yeah, perfect. And we're so grateful to have you today. I'm sure you're super busy, and we're very grateful for your time. And could you just go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, like you said, my name is Dobrica, verbally a bit rough for the US audience, but very interesting locally since I share a name with a famous writer in Serbia. I was born 33 years ago in Western Serbia in Užice, got my bachelor's and master's degree at the Belgrade University in electrical engineering, specifically signal processing and process control. So back then in my senior years, we had a lot of practical MATLAB coding exams on control system, robustness, voice image recognition, etc. And this in combination with my already established passion for numerical analysis probably raised my curiosity to do ad hoc analytics whenever I had the chance. However, it took me nearly 3 years between engineering and QA jobs to get an opportunity to do proper real data analytics, to do some queries and mine an already established data warehouse. This was for a betting and gaming company called Mozart, who was back then a regional leader in the field and now operates all around the globe. Over the next couple of years, I moved in between data analysis, statistical modeling, data engineering tasks. I learned a lot in a team of really extraordinary people back then. And yeah, added the growth of the domain knowledge and some people understanding. I wouldn't necessarily call it skills because I didn't have any formal training on this. I was offered the opportunity to lead this team, which was in between 7 and 9 people back in 2016. And from that time on, I was mostly devoted to create the meaningful bandwidth for all the teams that I worked with, trying to anticipate growth potential and practically implement machine learning logic on top of customer engagement data in this industry. And that experience helped me last year to land the head of data insights role in LearnUpon, one of the world's leading LMS providers, where I am currently leading a 4-member team devoted to creating an exciting experience for learners and admins, and also helping them engage with data-driven features. And besides that, I'm also interested and aware of the local data community, helping with some startups that my friends are doing, and also trying to do my PhD in applied math on the topic of recommender systems.
Yeah, that's perfect. And it sounds like you're doing a lot of different things right now.
Yeah.
And what do you think are important values to have within a data team, since you are currently leading a data team right now?
Well, yes, most importantly, and without any doubt for me personally, you need to have a group of trustworthy people who create easy mutual collaborations, who are willing to go the extra mile when called upon. And I can say that I have mostly been blessed with these kind of groups throughout my career. Data people thrive when there is a meaningful learning curve in front of them, even if some obstacles are hard to overcome, but that is where the natural curiosity should kick in and give them additional fuel to succeed. You also need, if you want to work for a data team, you need a fair share of excitement about the domain that you are working in, which in turn leads to raised curiosity to go under the hood and discover new dependencies, patterns within the data sources at your disposal. Also thinking about improving the automation of your everyday tasks, improving the data flow to perfection, however time-consuming that might be. The end goal will always justify the means. The team should also have a fair share of good data storytellers, people who can derive actionable conclusions and meaningful visuals from the data that is at their disposal. And also one thing that I learned while working for a SaaS company is that understanding the logic and relevance of good metrics is quite important. So it's not always about how much you generate or the sophistication of the internal tools that you built, rather using the data effectively and presenting it in an understandable way. It's obviously very helpful for the team to have senior members, not generally technical, but from the business perspective, who are able to think in advance outside of the scope of currently available data sources and already established models. And if it's a small team in a startup culture, the team members should always be able to wear multiple hats and not afraid to dive into the unknown or switch between ideas and approaches in a rapid pace. I saw my fair share of situations where data scientists are hard to let go of that nearly perfectly fit model that they crafted with sheer commitment for a week. But it's just the way it is. For coding members of the team, also keeping a clean data workspace, version control, constantly be aware of query performance killers. And also from my personal experience in general, I strongly believe that genuine mathematical and logical reasoning is really helpful when working with data, and the acceptance that not everything that you work on will in fact end up as a big data and artificial intelligence project. It's good to have it if you truly need it, but it rarely provides direct business value just with its existence and requires a thorough roadmap. But having big data can really help you in the latter stages of prototyping and boost your confidence in the results if it is at your disposal.
Yeah, definitely. And you brought up a lot of good points in terms of working with your different team members and really building trust within your organization and your team. And how do you kind of prevent miscommunications from happening?
Well, yeah, you can look at miscommunications from the external and the internal perspective. So I'll start with the first one. Nowadays, it is quite easy to pretend being data-driven in the eyes of customers, as well as in the eyes of the org outside of the team, but that usually does not last. So to prevent these bubbles from bursting straight back to your face, I always tend to be honest about the phases of our project. I try to dig deep into explaining the technical prerequisites, even if I have to do it more than once. Thinking about tooling requirements or resources that might give the upper hand and leverage when the projects reach a critical point. And also, you need to offer relevant milestones that provide a sense of completion and measurability for the people involved in this. Data projects are black box and mystical only if you make them this way. By measuring performance in a timely way, you can in fact prove if your strategy is succeeding or not, and getting as many people from a variety of teams as stakeholders to look at data and foster this curiosity across the org, while at least taking care of their business domain reports as a portion, will also give you an additional voice over time to prove your cause. And from the internal perspective, I would say that it's essential to have a well-defined funnel and bandwidth for your work in progress. It's easy for the team to get bombarded because data people are genuine solvers and they usually go the extra mile to get your inside delivery right without asking too much questions. So what can help here is having a team pillar project and personal goals, or I can call them motions, related to the working environment that drive their purpose and keep them on track and force them to think about dependencies, small dependencies in between all the work that you do. Also, an important part which I encountered over my career is the data discrepancies. They should be handled in a timely manner and with care, because they will eventually come back to haunt you. when the right set of eyes look at a certain report derived from that. And the data researcher should always be aware that you are not here to prove or make assumptions. You are there to do unbiased statistical research, conclude what hides behind the wall of numbers and tables at your disposal. And being unconsciously or even consciously biased can lead you astray, especially if you are tackling a specific domain problem for the first time. So that is a situation where we have to be objective.
Yeah, definitely. And great insight. And in terms of just working with your data team and being more data driven, a lot of different companies are trying to be more data driven. And what are some ways that Learn Upon is being more data driven right now with all of the techniques that you're using?
Well, I can say that the data team, with the help of the wider org, is always trying to define and reinvent good metrics, their context and expected outcome and value in the long run, and all the dependencies between them. And with the help of engineering, other engineering teams, we directly own, build, and maintain the data services and operations, such as the data warehouse and all specific project-related databases, microservices, to keep track of these metrics over time. Since Learn Upon is using a variety of apps across the org to create or handle data, whether it is customer support, marketing purposes, whatever, it is important to have a framework for uniquely identifying your user and customer journey and figure out if what we get from this acquisition matches our expectations, or is there a way that we can actively promote our learners' curiosity and even help admins be more comfortable about our solution. Since the data team is naturally working on time series analysis and data-rich features, this is also a good way to test system performance and also additionally collaborate with other engineering teams on choosing the right scope and tooling for data acquisition. We as a team also actively hold and promote data science knowledge share sessions to boost this curiosity and onboard other members of engineering to help us, because we're a small team. We obviously need help with code reviews and also for increased productivity when needed from time to time. And also when time allows us, we additionally feed our colleagues with new dimensions on already existing reports. We build stories on top of them to add context and to engage them, to openly discuss, ask for clarity for all dimensions, additional info, or even we had situations where they even question our statistical methodology and prove us wrong. So in the end goal of all these use cases would be probably to have the ability to drive learner engagement and a better understanding of what's going under the radar. We as a company and as a data team specifically want to promote click-worthy things on portals depending on our customer needs, and also to save time and effort for admins and learners and power up a truly personalized learning experience.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that you had just brought up the idea of these different use cases that you and your team work on. So could you describe about a use case that specifically uses data science in your organization?
Sure thing. Well, we have news from that side. The fresh thing to come out of our data kitchen at Learn Upon is the course catalog recommender feature. This is now in beta testing on selected portals. This is the company's first step on an exciting journey with machine learning. Basically, suggested courses are based on three things: number of completions, aka popularity, a collaborative filtering algorithm, which is similarity by learners' ratings, and also association rules, where the algorithm finds which courses are frequently completed together by other users. So This, in fact, values user activity in many ways and gives the most meaningful list of courses directly to your catalog while you're browsing. This is just phase one, but the start looks really promising. The customer feedback is great. We are looking forward to use this data to tune our algorithms and then move to recommending things besides courses. You can call it a next best offer or action. We are also ideating over an agile process that would support rapid and visually appealing insight deliveries, which would solve some of the recognized portal admin pains and lead to better rates in course completions. I can say that different parts of the org are also doing their fair share of data science use cases, specifically segmenting customers. And there is also a variety of use cases of product analytics. I think that the most important ones are the in-depth analysis of new feature adoption rates and measuring the correlation between these with the general active usage, as well as doing analysis of platform portal usage per customer, per segment of customers, to get a better understanding on what drives our users to come back to our learning experience that we provide on a regular basis, and how can we help them engage more, so to say.
Yeah, definitely great example there. And I wanted to say thank you so much, Dobrica, for joining us today. And I wanted to talk about the data standard a bit now. So we're trying to build a community of data enthusiasts and data thought leaders where everyone can just network and collaborate with each other. So what is something that we could do for you?
Well, I have to be honest and say that I just started following your channel a month ago, probably. I hope that this community will grow a lot and that I will get a chance to connect with a lot of people, exchange ideas, and maybe even collaborate on some interesting machine learning projects in the future. I'm personally always eager to read about new practical solutions, whether it's Python, data engineering, automation, statistics, decision intelligence, deep learning, you name it, and also follow talks, meetups on these topics. So if you have any information on this or new literature, or you just want to connect on an interesting idea and talk about it, that's fine. I'm happy to collaborate.
Yeah, perfect. And after this call, I'll definitely make sure to connect you with some people in our community. And where can everyone find you online to connect with you?
I'm not much of a public speaking or writing person. I think that the best way to connect and share ideas is through LinkedIn. Happy to chat through all the ideas that may come my way. I may prepare some material for Medium by the end of the year if time allows it, but for now I think that connecting through LinkedIn and messaging there is the way to go.
Yeah, that's perfect. And to our audience, for more information on the data standard, you can find us at www.datastandard.io, as well as on our LinkedIn and YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dobrica. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Catherine.